Thought I'd fill you guys in on how this driver's side wheel well is coming. I was hoping to have it done yesterday, which would have been October 1st. I was hoping to have it in the car, but I have to get that vent done first that goes in the fender. That vent, you can only reach the bolts from behind, and with everything in the way, it's easier to do it before you put this wheel well in. Well, my problem with that vent is, as I mentioned in a previous video, is it was a different shade, and I had hit it with a socket and put a nick in it. So what I had done is I sanded it all down, got the clear coat off from it, knocked that all down, got everything smooth out, fixed that nick I put in the paint, went ahead and primed it. You know, hey, I went through in places, so I better put some primer on it. Primed it, repainted it, cleared it. It looked phenomenal. Hanging over there on the rack, I thought, wow, that looks really good. And my wife and I went to a town 20 miles away from us, and we were there for 4 or 5 hours. I came home and said, hey, I'm going to go put that vent in. Came out here, that vent was still tacky. Now, what is going on here? Did I forget to add my hardener to the clear coat, my activator? No, I did that. I waited about another hour and came out, it was still tacky. Now, at that point, I knew something had gone wrong. So I took it off the rack, and I could literally push my fingerprint in it. Just give it a push, and you can just see your fingerprint melt into it. It was that soft. But, well, I have to do something here. So I went ahead and took it all the way down to fiberglass. And I took all the paint off I could. I got it way, way down there. You know, spent most of the day doing that. So I got that taken care of, and I started re-putting primer back on it, a light coat of primer, and I could see that there was something wrong with that primer. That primer just started wrinkling up and acting kind of crazy. I thought, wow, this primer usually dries within 5 minutes. So I thought, well, I'm going to stop, let this cure out, and I'll sand it out. Well, it never cured. Even 20, 25 minutes later, you can still push your finger in it. So there was something wrong with my primer. So evidently, that was causing my paint not to set up. So here I am again, knocking it all down again, getting it all off there, getting the primer knocked down and stuff. So I'll probably be working on this for a while. This is October 2nd, so I'm on my second day when this should have been done yesterday. So I'm going to keep sanding away at this and try to get this primer off here, and I'm going to go get some different primer. I think I'm going to use my high build this time, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that on here. So just like give you an update. Yeah, 2 days trying to put a wheel well in. Basically 2 days trying to get this vent painted so I can put the wheel well in. So I'll be back. Well, that's better. That primer's already dry. It dried like it's supposed to. Guess I should have used a high build to begin with. And other stuff, it's in a spray can. I really, really hated spray cans, but I thought, just a small little part, shoot some primer on there. That's the reason why I don't use them spray cans very often. I'm probably not going to use them that much ever again, but this looks a lot better. A lot better. I'll let this cure for a little bit and clean up my paint gun and stuff and move on to paint. Back in a minute. Okay, got my base coat laid. It's already nice and set up. I'm going to give this a while though yet. I'm not going to bang away at it right away. Make sure it's ready to go. Next will be the clear. The primer did set up. I wet sanded it. The spray primer I didn't wet sand. It was nice and smooth. That was my fault. But yeah, this primer was set up. It's sanded real nice. I put this base coat on. I did find a couple of little defects. I went back and sanded them out and put more base coat, cover those little areas I'd worked out. So clear coat's next. Oh, finally clear coated. It sets up and everything like it should. have this put back on later today. Awesome. All right, part came out really, really nice. It's nice and dry and no tackiness. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put this screen in the back of this, which I had taken it out. All it's gotta do is go back in there just like that. I've got some epoxy over here I mixed, and I'm gonna go ahead and basically glue this back in place. I'll be back in a second. There you go, glued. Got a little weight there to keep that grills up there nice and tight. Made sure I had it lined up with the back edge so it doesn't look crooked in there. Someone would look in there. But I'm gonna let this set up, and that should only take like 10 minutes. Back soon. It is. Back in the car. That's great. Finally, just from one little nick. Well, like I said, it was an off color, so next order of business, we're putting this wheel well in. So we're gonna give that a shot. Okay, I'm back. Since I do have that vent put in, I'm gonna go ahead and put this wheel well in. It should be basically like the other side. I know I got a few more lines and stuff on this side, but I don't see any reason why this one won't fit, just like the other side did. So I'm gonna go grab it real quick. As you can see, I already put my tape on there. Thought ahead this time. Be right back with the wheel well. All right, I'm back with it. And I don't see no reason why it won't fit like the other one did. I had a hard time with that other one, so I did get it in there. Oops, a little too far on that. Fight a little bit. Let's tack this differently. Huh. Even have it stuck right there. Need me a little screwdriver. Wow, guess it really is stuck. There's the top. Boy, it does want to fight. Tell you, I keep getting caught on these little brake brackets. Cause me more problems than they're worth. Can't get it to roll. Alright. Well, I had to stop that video for a second to get some more tape. But you got to put the front in first, evidently, because when I put the front in, then it fell in place. Really need to get me a ratchet, don't I? Well, you get it. Bolts in, put the bolts in, tighten them down, get everything buttoned up. That wasn't as smooth as I thought it was going to be. I did put a little nick down here. Like I say, the spoiler covers it, but I'll touch that up before I actually cover it up. Put some primer, some paint on there, and I got a little nick right there I have to take care of, which it looks a little thin on paint anyway, but I'll get this bolted down and we'll be back. Okay, let me give you an update on this thing. It was a pain in the ass to get in. A lot harder than the other side. I don't know why. It just was. The holes, I really scratched this up pretty good. So I'm going to have to go back in and touch all this up. I know it gets covered, but I really don't want any rust to form there. So I'm going to have to go in and touch all that up before I do anything. My biggest problem, or should I say one of my problems, these holes don't line up at all. I mean, period. They're like up here. So I'm going to have to re-drill a set of holes to get that pushed back. I don't know why it doesn't line up. Everything else did. even this one on the bottom lined up. The other side didn't. This one did. It was boom right there. And all these lined up all the way around. But I'm gonna have to go ahead and drill extra holes to get that in there. That's kind of stupid, but that's where I'm at. I think I could probably oblong them just a little bit and catch that, and maybe use a bare washer on here to cover this entire hole, because I really don't want the hole there. I know it doesn't matter. You know, the car doesn't get driven in the snow and storms, and the water will run out. So I'm not sure if I'm just going to drill new holes and put them up there, or if I'm going to oblong them and change them. But that's the only problem, you know, other than this thing fit like a pain in the butt. But it's in. I'm happy it's in. I still have this metal plate that I got to get put in here, which probably is going to need trim because of this, like the other side. But I'll grab it and put it in here and get that fastened in and call this wheel well done. Almost got ahead of myself. I do want to put this fender flare on first before I put that plate in there. But I got to touch that paint up real quick. But I wanted to show you something. On the other side, I showed you I had to cut a V out of that little filler plate. Here's what I'm talking about. This one, this piece was in here. You know, I got to notch this out. And the reason being is, you see where the bottom of this fender sticks out? It actually protrudes out here. If you don't cut that piece out, it catches. So you have to notch it out to keep this, or else you're going to be way out here and it's not going to fit flush at the top. But that's why I have to notch that. You know, I don't know if any of you will run into that. But on mine, yeah, I just took 10 snips, cut that little V out of there, and that fender slides right through there. Right now I'm going to get some paint and touch up that wheel well, and then I'm going to put that fender flare on. It isn't pretty, but I got those nicks painted over. So now I'm going to put that fender flare in. Like I told you on the last one, there's nothing big about it. It just has 2 bolts and then these little screw holes, screws inside the wheel well or the fender. So 2 bolts go in them holes. I can reach around behind and get this bottom one, and the top one I can get from above. I can get the bottom one from above too, but it's a lot easier to do it right here. So I'm gonna put that fender flare on, and there's also 1 bolt in the bottom of that flare that goes through here to hook it to the air dam. So I want to get that taken care of. Back in a minute. But I had to show you guys this. This is my problem with Taiwan crap. This panel, you see it has 2 holes on the bottom, 2 holes on the top. The 2 on the bottom have to line up here, and there's one way over here, as you can see it. So if I line this up there into these bottom holes, like so, if you can see that or not, like so, these holes are nowhere near, not even close. You see where my blue dots are? That's where they're supposed to be. Yeah, that's how far off they are. Isn't that crazy? Taiwan, you have to modify every part you buy. I don't care if the part costs you $5 or $500, you're gonna have to modify it. It's just the way it is. I didn't have originals, so I'm gonna drill out these holes and move everything over and refit it. Back in a minute. Move those holes over and fit all right now. It's all part of the game, I guess. I don't know why they got these holes way over here, but I'm gonna go ahead and put these screws in and get this taken care of. And I'm gonna have to re-drill some holes back here, and I'm gonna call this done on this side corner. I need to bring my cutlass in. I gotta change the starter out. I'm putting on a mini starter. Mine keeps getting heat soaked, my car won't start. So I'm going to get this taken care of and bring in my other car. If you enjoyed my videos, please subscribe if you have not already. Later. Added bonus. It's dirty. It's off the lift. All the wheel well flares are on. Wheel wells are in. I did put the Pontiac emblem in it. Overall, so far, I'm liking it. I do have some other little pieces here and there I'm going to put on, but right now, like I said, I got to get my cutlass. So, later.